Well, I'm back from the epic journey. Oh, yeah, alive and well. Yes, I am. I'm here to tell the story. So, in this episode of Marina Queen, I'm going to fly on a one-way ticket from Spokane, Washington to San Francisco. And I'm going to tackle a bunch of last-minute projects to make sure Frog's Leap is ready. My name is Rick. Join me as I refit sailing vessel Frog's Leap with an eye towards taking her to warmer places. I get to spend only a few days each month on the boat. That's why I call the channel Marina Queen. Robin Dawn sailing vessel Salt Whistle. I'm gonna crack this in San Diego when we get there. Thank you, guys. Take a look at this hard suitcase. So when I packed this thing up, I knew that this wheel was gone, and I knew that this was grinding away, right? Because it was getting dragged. But I thought, okay, you know, the thing's still gonna make it in one piece. Well, take a look at this. This is how I got it off of the, look at this huge crack right here. It's ready to be retired. So I'm thinking about using this loop right here to affix the case of my PLB. So, and I think the case is on there pretty good, so I'm not worried about it falling out. But this way, I always know where it is. So, and it's on something that if I'm thinking about abandoning ship, I'm going to be wearing, right? First of all, I think I want to use a bigger size zip tie. There's no reason to skimp on these, use the tiny zip tie. And then I think I just have to recognize, hey look, it's going to be a little floppy. That's another thing, that movement's going to put a lot of pressure on these fabrics, and that's another reason why I'd have a bigger zip tie. So I think I'm going to go with the bigger zip tie and just keep an eye on it. I wish there was a little bit better attachment point. I'm going to use this bigger, thicker black one. I think that'll be better. It's still going to be floppy. I don't think I'm going to be able to escape that. It feels better. I'll just have to watch that seam. Now I'm tugging on that seam pretty good. But it should last for one trip anyway. So here's how I've been setting up the jack line on Frog's Leap. Here we go. You know, it looks a little tight around the mast, but, you know, with the 6-foot tether, you can get anywhere on the foredeck here. The only thing you might struggle to get to is a ground tackle, you know, if you're anchoring, but the reality is if you're anchoring, you're in pretty calm water, generally. Ideally, you clip in right here. So in a previous episode, I took out all the anchor chain and I noticed how it was marked. It was marked with a pair of colored zip ties. There's about 150 feet of chain. When we're anchoring, it's important to know what that code is, the 2 zip tie code. So Frog's Leap has a 2 zip tie code. I just stuck with whatever code they had. I'm not interested in reinventing it. Those things seem to be holding on just fine. But here's the code where the BB and YY, those are the colors of the zip ties. So B is blue, Y is yellow, O is orange, R is red. So my plan is to have one of these in there, and I used some packing tape to sort of laminate them so they'll hold up to the weather. And I'll use the same packing tape to stick them on the deck. But on the foredeck, I'm going to put this so that it's a good reference, whoever's working on the foredeck. And I'll have another one in the cockpit. The person working the helm and the person working the foredeck, they're not going to get confused. We're going to get the right amount of chain on deck. Well, okay, let's get it on there now. Get it on there. So this is where I put the other one, right on the windlass. So that should work good. So that's the waterlock muffler. You can see the rust-colored orange dripping down into the bilge. Well, if I bring the camera down, take a look at this. I just wiped it off with some rags. Doesn't look like I hardly touched it. So I'm gonna have to hit it with the wire brush and see what that looks like. Well, I'm close. I'm just gonna have to pick at it a little bit more. Well, now we know what we're looking at. I mean, it's a lot better than that big corroded ball of corrosion that we were looking at when we started. So, well, I tightened it. I'm still dealing with very few data points. I could still be wrong. Tightened the nut. We're gonna watch it on the trip to Half Moon Bay, and we'll see. Okay, there's one. Some twisty going on. It's all about the twisty. There it is. Okay, it's on. It's half the battle. Half of the battle. I got these parts apart. This was kind of stuck in here, and I also took out this part here that goes into this little part here. So they were both leaking a little bit. I didn't put anything on it. It came with anti-seize, and in my mind I'm thinking, oh, that'll be okay. It wasn't okay. It wasn't okay. Took it all apart, and I decided to use the Permatex Right Stuff. So this is 90-minute return to service gasket maker black. high flexibility and oil resistance, ideal for domestic and older vehicles, sensor safe, RTV silicone. We'll see how it works. I mean, it's high temp, right? Temperature range is 65 Fahrenheit to 500 Fahrenheit intermittent. We're not ever going to be 500 Fahrenheit. So yeah, I think it's just a matter of putting it back together now. That's what we're going to do. Alright, so I've got this one in and the process went pretty smoothly, so I'm going to try now to connect the mixing elbow with the exhaust pipe, if you will, using this reversed threaded nut. That's what we're going to do. Like that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get this started. Okay. Yeah, and I'll work from there. Okay, I think. Yeah, there. To get this bottom one. And again, I want to get it really thick. I like to push in the beginning just so now I can just hand tighten this. And I think what I'm going to do is remove some of this excess. I'm going to let this sit like that for an hour, and then we'll tighten it. Well, so that exhaust assembly, it went back into the engine just as easily as it came out. This is a big episode because this is the prelude. Next week, Patrick's coming on board and we're getting underway. And let me tell you, it doesn't go the way we expect. It's going to be a good episode. You don't want to miss it. Hey, if you like what I'm doing, please press that thumbs up button. And if you want to see more of Marina Queen, hit that subscribe button. I'll see you next week on the boat. New episode every Sunday. I'm not as think as you confused I am.